pushed him off balance. And so he kept pushing the line forward. And instead of shooting a complete headquarters down, he had two headquarters. So he brought one on the other. This would become operational. Quickly transfer the men into that operational facility, shut this one down, pack it back up, get ready to move it down. So the whole idea was keep pushing the line further and further back. So we're going to start.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
I don't know what you know, what you don't know. Over here is going to be, he would have a briefing, staff officers would come in, and basically they'd take a snapshot of what was going on that particular day, what the plan of action is for the day and tomorrow, and then the staff officers split out and go in all directions, visit units, check for preparation, down to the minutia, the guys have no dry socks. We can feed out of the headquarters, out of a portable kitchen, and bring hot food in. These are actually insulated containers.
What kind of food?
Whatever, and this is an in-week supply line starting from the United States, be put on ships and be sent across. Ahead of the ships was a list of everything on the ship, how many tons of this, tons of that, what have you. And so the quartermaster corps would see what's coming, and they would notify the field, this stuff is on the way, you'll have a truck of this on this particular day. At that point, the cooks at that level would look at the recipe cards and see what can we do with the food that's coming in. They would set a menu. The recipe cards were already made up, and basically you look to see what supplies were. So you know, it might have been cereal for morning, it could have been powdered scrambled eggs, or whatever the heck it's going to be. Obviously coffee, because the machinery ran on coffee. The lunch could be, you know, some kind of a boiled meat, however they fixed it. This field kitchen, they'd have 3-4 stoves in a truck, a deuce and a half, and literally could be going down the road cooking. And then inside that oven, it was a rack that came down, would slide out. It was a double boiler. It was powered by gasoline, like a large Coleman stove, and they could cook. There was on the top of it was called a square head, and you'll see some of them around the camp. The square head was a griddle, and you turn the top over, and so you had a griddle for cooking bacon or what have you. The other part of it, the bottom part, put the lid on, it becomes an oven. Take the lid off, put grease in, it becomes a deep fryer. So anything that, you know, came along, and the recipes were all field tested. The Army, the Quartermaster Corps, somewhere in there, I got the book from it. They literally looked at everything going on. They tasted, the guys tasted, they gave feedback, and they got rid of stuff that didn't work and brought in stuff that did, to the point that they ate pretty decently. They had enough calories each day that our guys didn't lose weight. Not only did we feed our people, but we fed the other armies that were associated with us. And when we captured a place, there was enough food to feed the people that were there. Communications tent. This is the way it would be set up during the war. I'm going to move my pot. We would have a generator set up. There'd be lighting going on. All the bank of radios would be plugged into the power. They'd have their antennas. There'd be a man sitting at each one of these stations right here.
What power?
The wattage, these are the small radios. These are the ones that go out 15, 20, 30 miles. The big radios go into the back of a trailer, and they're hundreds of watts.
What powers them?
What gives them
Gas engine.
The signal corps and the quartermasters worked well with each other, and basically they come in and set up. The quartermaster would lay the camp out. The signal corps would bring the telephone wire in. Telephones work on 2 wires, tip and ring. One's a ground, one's a power, and so they would string this stuff out, connect into a switchboard. The other end be on a field radio or another switchboard. So you crank this, it'd send the ring voltage down. The unit would ring, a light would light up. The guy sitting here would patch into it and answer the switchboard, and then call wherever the call was going to be transferred to, and take the patch cord and plug in and make that connection with the tip and the ring. So what we have down here, and one of the things kind of interesting, you'll see a grenade sitting by each of the radios. The whole idea was if this was going to be overrun, this would be destroyed so the enemy couldn't use it. Now, clerical desks on one side, radio receivers on the other. All of them are operational radios, and you notice there's a message pad by each one of them, so that something came in, they could write the message down, transfer it over to one of the clerks on the other side, decrypt it, they'd type it out into a hard copy, and it'd be on its way. We might crank some music through here with the Victrola. You know, give a little ambiance on the back side when things are in the wall.
Thanks for the
Have you ever
tour.
seen one of those for real that ever touch or pull?
One of the things kind of interesting, this is a radio testing set right here. One of them starts to go bad. There was a technician assigned here that he could diagnose the tubes if he thought one of the tubes was going bad. Put it in here and check to see if it operated. If it didn't, he'd go into supply, pull out a replacement, stick it in there, and have it back in work. You'll see around the camp here, photographs are taken. They use the backplate cameras like this to take a lot of war photographs. They were experimenting with color at that point as well. So if you had a color plate, you get a good color picture. Sometimes radios and telephones didn't work, so they still use carrier pigeons. So they would bring these things in, and one of them got the Purple Heart apparently. So there actually is a photograph that was taken of a pigeon with the Purple Heart. Obviously, you don't give it to a horse or a pigeon, but somebody. Is that a real Purple Heart? Or somebody in the unit would know how to play a piano, so the organist would sit there and pump, and they'd pass out the hymnals and do whatever it is that Roman Catholic priests do. This is the clerical side. On the clerical side, the size of the desk, these are folding desks, the size of it was related to the size of the unit that this served. Obviously the bigger units need bigger pieces of paper. Coming down through the handy talkies, quarter-mile range, we went into the first backpack radios. And so that's what you're seeing here is backpack radios. This could be adapted to go into a vehicle by pulling the battery pack and plugging the electrical power from the vehicle into it. Everything worked on 6 volts at that time. Mail center, company headquarters has got its own mail center, so the mail would come in a bag. One of the clerks assigned to mail would sort this stuff out and collect any outgoing mail. And so we got ourselves a little mail center. This is how we call them to chow. Ring the bell, so come get your dinner. The truck had come up, those cans would be taken off the truck. The guys would eat their meal, and the truck would be gone in less than 30 minutes. That's how fast it was. And sometimes,
What do they give them to drink besides coffee and water?
iced tea.
Oh, okay.
We would make up powdered milk.
Oh, okay.
We reconstitute milk. There is a recipe for hot cocoa where they took cocoa powder and sugar and milk. Basically took the water, put the cocoa powder into it, stirred it up, brought it to a boil, stirred the sugar into it, and then you put the milk product into it and bring it up to volume and serve it hot. And the manual says if you put it in the refrigerator, it tastes good cold.
Okay, so I was just going to say that. I assume the water wasn't cold. They couldn't keep it cold in any way. There's no ice.
Actually, we had ice.
Okay.
They would bring in ice making.
Ice making
There would be a laundry unit come in that do laundry. So the guys, could go and take their dirty laundry off with their name tags in it, or name number. When they took it off, they get a new set of laundry that had been washed. So they set these things. There was a water purification system coming. They said that the quartermaster set up, and engineers and put in water purification. This is an interesting thing. In America, we were used to drinking in any tap and fountain around the country. Guys went from America over to Europe and thought, well, there's fountain. We can drink the water out of this. They got dysentery like crazy.
Yeah. Okay. That'll teach you.
Yes, it will. And we got a little, little beverage set, for guys that maybe missed a meal or got hungry or what have you. So we got, thermos from water, a coffee pot, the K rations they could open up and, supplement the meal if they got hungry.
So any soldier could come in here, or
only
only
the company headquarters.
Gotcha. Okay.
The headquarters company, this was their little home, so to speak.
Gotcha.
And they worked long shifts before they were